Okay, what's up? It's T from T's Corner, and I'm just coming to you with something that's really bothering me. And I don't usually do this because I try not to say anything bad about anyone because I know I'm not perfect, and I know, even as an artist, as an author, my skill is not perfected. I'm not on the New York Times bestsellers list. I'm not the poet laureate, any of these things. But sometimes it's just basic. And I'm not even being nice right now, and God forgive me if I'm in the wrong, which I probably am. But some things are unacceptable, and I think people are not saying anything. And I think if you're not honest with people, then you do them a disservice. So I am reading a book. My mother went to the bookstore, which was going out of business, which is sad in itself because I personally still appreciate an actual book and not just digital copies. I like to smell the pages in the library and in the bookstore, how the new books smell, and when you break the crease. I love all of that. So I like actual books. So my mother went to the bookstore and just, picked through things because the bookstore was going out of business. So there was a sale going on. And she picked up this book right here, Praising with My Scars. I'm not going to die in this, or you won't die in this. That's what it's called. Praising with My Scars, You Won't Die in This by Tasha R. Robinson. This book is probably 3 typed pages. As you can see how thin it is. For $10. See that there? $10. And apparently this is the second book written by this author. And on the back it says, this book was written to inspire someone's life, that no matter what you are facing, you are coming out of it in due time with your hands up. It's designed to encourage you that when life looks like it does not have any answers, Jesus is the answer. If you are a believer or not, the signs and wonders are manifesting itself all the time. We may go through adversity, but through adversity is strength. Do things happen to us? It certainly does, but we cannot give in nor give up. Just some encouragement of a few general topics to let someone know I won't die in this situation I am currently in, but I shall persevere through it. That sounds amazing. And as we all go through things in life and we all have our highs and our lows, and some people don't know how to deal with their lows. And like she says, for believers or not, there are just some things that you can apply to your life to help you get through what you're going through. So even though the book is thin as all outdoors and should not have cost $10, I wanted to read it to see what she had to say. This is the most awful book I've ever read. And the only good thing that I can say about it is that she had the courage to write it and put it out there because, that is to put yourself out for public scrutiny is a hard thing to do. And she wrote a book and she put it out there for the masses. And the beautiful thing about it is that she wanted to help somebody, that she wanted to bless somebody with this book. My problem with the book is that everything in it is cliched. Now, I realize that there is nothing new under the sun, but there is new takes on everything. So, even if you have the most basic opinion and ideal, you can spin that to reflect your own way of thinking about a certain thing. It should not absolutely mimic 1,000 other people's way of thinking about that same topic. So, it was carbon copy of anything I ever read on this topic. So that turned me off. The thing that just completely put me out was that I don't know if this was self-published or what, and I think it was because it's copyright by her for 2017. So I think it was self-published, which again is amazing because, it's not easy. It's not easy to put out a book. But I don't think that the appropriate attention was put into putting out this book because there are grammar errors like you would not believe. Incomplete sentences, incomplete thoughts, sentences that don't make any sense at all. And I'm like, how does this make it past editing? So my guess is that there was none. More importantly, and I'll just use black people as an example because I'm black and so is this author. We speak lazy sometimes. Not all of us. Majority of us do. We speak lazily, and we have a rule in the African American community. You put it on and you take it off, depending on who your audience is. I think anytime that you're writing a book, you need to assume that your audience is going to be well read because you're writing a book. So people who don't generally read books aren't probably going to read yours either. So you can't write the way you speak if you speak lazily, because it does not come across in reading. And me personally, when I read books, I read out loud because I speak lazily all the time. The only time I don't really is depending on which company I'm in, or if I'm reading, because I have to read exactly what is there. I can't speak slang because unless the book is written that way, I have to read it the way that it is written. And in reading this book the way that it is written, it doesn't make any sense because, as I said, there are grammatical errors and incomplete sentences and incomplete thoughts. And overall, this is just not a good book. This is not a good attempt at writing a book. And like I said, and then every theory in here is cliched. You haven't said anything new. So you charged people $10 to read a book full of cliches. Why didn't you just title it that? Everything somebody else has already said, and I didn't even say it correctly. I am completely turned off by this book. So I will say to the author, Tasha R. Robinson, if this is what God called you to do, keep doing it. If God has called you to speak into someone's life, please, by all means, keep at it, because who am I to discourage you from doing the will of God? I wouldn't even dare try. What I would, though, suggest as a consumer is, first of all, you need an editor and a proofreader, because 6th grade English, this would be an F. Secondly, find your message. Find your message, because the cliche, it's just like I opened this book with a spirit of expectation and anticipation, and this is not what I expected or anticipated. I got nothing from this book positive, except that you tried and you're doing the will of God. Those are the only good things I can say about the book. I can't say anything good about the book itself. And wow, I don't think I've ever had that experience. I've read a lot of books with grammatical errors and that weren't edited well. Don't seem like they were proofread at all. But the story was good. Whether it was fiction, nonfiction, autobiographical, whatever. It was something that I could enjoy. This is just 2 thumbs down from Siskel and Ebert right here. I don't. So if you don't believe me, purchase it and read it for yourself. Praising with My Scars, You Won't Die in This by Tasha R. Robinson.